Hi guys, this is Tech Remedy. Thank you for tuning in. Today, let's show you how to create Visual Basic .NET project and select the desired target framework. And we'll go through the basic and important settings that you would need to do for each and every project you create to make them look more professional. Stay tuned. Before we start, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share our video to help us keep on going. If you want us to go through a specific programming language or component related to Visual Studio 2019 or any other tech-related subject, please let us know in the comments down below and we'll be more than glad to review it and do it for you. To start a new project, open Visual Studio 2019. If you do not have Visual Studio 2019 installed on your computer, please make sure to check our installation guide for the official free version of the program. After launching the program, click on Create New Project. From the listed options, find Windows Forms App .NET Framework under Visual Basic Language. You can filter programming language to Visual Basic, filter the OS, the target OS to Windows, and then select from the given list, or even easier, you can type in the search bar the item you're looking for. After selecting Windows Forms app, we will enter the project name, so we'll call it Tech Remedy Trial 1. We can select the save location, the solution name, and the target framework. Currently, the latest framework we can work on is .NET Framework 4.8. It is so important to always select the latest version, but bear in mind that some of those do not work on older versions of Windows operating system. For instance, Windows XP supports up to 4.0 only. The latest 4.8 is supported by Windows 7 Service Pack 1 and newer versions of Windows. To have the best experience, it's highly recommended to always use Windows 10 with its latest update with the latest version of .NET Framework. Although I do not recommend post-changing the framework at all, but if you really need to do that, you can always change the target framework from the project properties, but you will have to pay attention to the compatibility of the codes and sentences you used in your program, and if they are backward compatibility with the framework you selected. After that, we click Create, and Visual Studio will start creating the project files for us with one sample form called Form 1 along with it, and get everything ready for us to work on directly. It is highly recommended to hit Save All from the toolbar or from its shortcut Ctrl+Shift and S, or from File, Save All, to help Visual Studio save and create our files for the first time. Before starting any project, there are some settings and information that must be done for each and every project you create. If you are a programmer who is or will be creating a lot of projects and they are all somehow similar or partially similar to each other, then you can create the similar part carefully and then save it in that way. And whenever you are to start a project containing those parts of similarity, you can simply copy the project file, paste it in the desired directory, rename the file, and then open the project solution using Visual Studio 2019. Go to your project setting and then rename the project to the correct detail. To go to project settings, navigate to Tools and then the name of the project followed by Properties. So it is Tech Remedy Trial 1 Properties. In this window, you can enter the project or application name, the icon, the version, description, trademark, company name, build version, and release version. It is a must for a programmer to always put and update the version number of the application. If you are making all your apps with version 1.0, then you better just quit programming, because that's not how it is done. To fill those information, click on Assembly Information. As you can see here, we have the title of the project, the description. So let's write here my project description to see where it comes on. The company name, my trademark, and then we'll call this project 0.9, and then you can simply use the date 2020 07/26 and do the same for the file version. In this way, now I know that this version of the program, if I'm to run it later on, I know that I created that program on 26th of July 2020 and it was 0.9. It was my alpha program before reaching the final version. Once it is the final version that I can release, then I can simply make this one 1.0 point something. You can navigate through the settings here, as we will not be going through them one by one. Another important thing here is the splash screen. It is like a loading page or a loading window at which you can perform an initialization coding maybe. Even if you do not need initialization currently for your program, you may still use a splash screen. It would make your project look more professional. And of course, from compile, you can select the target CPU. If you are targeting 32-bit, which is x86, or if you are targeting 64-bit computers, you can select it from here, or you can leave it to any CPU to let Visual Basic decide that one for you. From the rest of the tabs, you can choose your preferences on how your project would behave, but for now we'll leave them as they are. A professional app must have a loading screen, or what Visual Studio calls splash screen, and an about window or form. The good news is Visual Studio gives us a bunch of ready forms designed, programmed, and totally ready for us to use directly. To add those, you go to your Solution Explorer, right click on your project, add new item, and then you go to Windows Forms, and from there you select Splash Screen. Click Add. You do the same once again. You go to Add new item, Windows Forms, About Box. Click Add. One of the most important things in programming is to name each and every component in your program to a self-explanatory name. For instance, the form that Visual Studio created for us is called Form 1. If that's going to be our main form, then we have to rename it to, for instance, frm_main. Now here frm stands for form, for it being a form actually, and main is the self-explanatory name. You may use capital letters to separate between the words, like frm main. You may use underscore between the words. It's up to you. You have to be a little bit smart about that, but the important thing is to make it really self-explanatory and short. So I'll name my main window to form main, my about box to, since it's always also a form, I'll name it form about us, and then the splash screen to form splash. Now we have to tell Visual Studio that frm splash is our splash menu. We go back to project, project properties, splash screen, and then select frm splash. Of course, here we can also select the startup form. If you are going to, let's say, make a login page, then we have to create another form to log in to get the username and password. Later on we may do an example about that. Then we can select the startup form to, for instance, frm login. Since we selected the splash screen here, it does not appear as a startup form. Visual Studio separates that one as a splash screen. It will load it, and after a few seconds it will automatically jump to the startup form. So this is our main window. Here we'll need to have For instance, let's say a menu strip, a status strip. Those are very important to start arranging our project. I'll go through those in a detailed video in the future, but for now let me do something really fast to show you how your project would look like. So now we have finished designing and programming our application. We can press start to run our application, or we can press F5 as well to start it. Oops, there seems to be an error in the program. It tells us, do you want us to continue running the program despite the error? We'll say no. And here we have an error list. From there we can see what the error is. So we'll go to the error. It tells us that version.txt is not an applicable thing to use, so I'll simply delete that one and make it application dot product version dot to string. And here we can say ver-version and close the parentheses. So we go back and we rerun our application. See that it's working perfectly. This is the main window. We saw our splash screen, and from the main window we can see the title we tried to add. It says the version number. This is so important as well, to see the version number, to debug it in the future in an easier way. We can click help about to view our ready about box. We can modify that one later on. You can see the company name comes up here, the project description comes up here, the version name, and you can even put a big logo or a photo. This is the status bar we added. We can show the clock over there. We can show the real status of the program if there is, and of course we can try the message boxes we created and exit to end the program. That's all for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if there is anything you do different than what we do over here, or if you want to add a step to what we have done so far. Also, never forget to thumbs up the video, like and share among your friends, and of course subscribe to our channel to receive more of our videos. That was the Tech Remedy. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch up with you in the next video. See ya.